Russia's central bank just switched to emergency mode with a key rate cut. Debt service cost is spiking, fuel shortages are spreading to new regions, and oil revenues and tax intakes keep shrinking. Even officials now admit the economy is in trouble. The countdown to Russia's economic Armageddon has begun. Stick around if you want numbers, figures, and events, because I have plenty of that coming up. Welcome to Weekly Economic Update. This is week 37 in review, and the goal of this ongoing series is to document Russia's economic transformation in real time. Weekly consistent coverage gives a truer picture than isolated headlines. Every Wednesday, I track the same core dashboard: the rates, budget, fuel, revenues, prices, trade, markets, industries, so you can see what actually changed, why it matters, and where the trend is pointing. All my reports are built on verifiable public reporting, market data, and open sources. No hype, just facts and context. Now to the analysis. The economy can be analyzed at three main levels, each with its own focus and scope. They are the individual level, also called microeconomic agents. It studies individuals, households, and businesses. Then there is microeconomy, studies specific sectors or markets, and macroeconomy, it studies entire national economy. And this is how I structure my weekly economic updates here at Inside Russia, and I start with microeconomic agents. Basically, it's about what impact changes in the economy have on lives of regular folks and individual companies. And this week, I share first-hand experience with you. My experience. A few things have happened to me personally recently, and they show how the economic changes spill into daily life if you live in Russia, of course. Over the last week, I received a few telephone calls and some electronic correspondence. Before I tell you the details, I want you to know that everyone who called and wrote me thought I still was in Russia. And I played along. I didn't want to disappoint them. First, I got a call from a car salesman in Rostov-on-Don. That's the city that I was born and raised. It was a follow-up call. We already talked a few months ago, and they just called on my phone offering a new car, and me being me, I had quite a few questions for them. That was it. I didn't buy the car, obviously. And the last week, the dealer called again. I was offered a car, a brand new Russian car, Lada, with a very attractive discount. The salesman started with 50% off to get my attention, and when I acted not interested, he started begging me. He was begging me to visit the dealership, the office, so we could meet in person and talk over the deal. He promised I wouldn't be able to resist his offer. Now, when you want to sell something, you never beg. You try to interest a potential buyer with a good value. Car salespeople, they know that. Yet, he sounded desperate. I offered to talk turkey to this guy, and he admitted that the cars aren't selling these days and the dealership is on the verge of closing. The reason? No customers with money, and car loans these days are just too expensive with the key interest rate so high. He felt so desperate to sell me that I could actually feel bad for the guy. Except I didn't. The second call was a similar proposition, only to buy an apartment in Moscow. My phone number must be in a real estate developer's database of some kind, because I get these calls once in a while. I answered the call and received an offer that the saleswoman thought I couldn't refuse, or I would not be able to refuse. I couldn't refuse. It was a new construction in Moscow, well, near Moscow, 40% of the price, right before we even started negotiating. Installment payments, deferred interest-free, to start first payment 24 months after apartment is sold to me, and the developer would partially subsidize mortgage interest if I were to choose to take out mortgage. I asked the saleswoman 3 questions. First, if they had any different locations, because she was trying to sell me something in south of Moscow, and I told her I like the north, perhaps the west. So I asked if they had any different locations, and the answer was absolutely, plenty of locations and plenty of apartment types, different sizes, different configurations. And second, I asked if there were any additional promotions and discounts available. And the answer was similar to the car salesperson. Yes, there are. You just come to the office and see me personally, and you will be surprised. It's going to be so tasty to you to get all these discounts. And my third question was, how was the developer making any money with discounts and promotions like that? And the saleswoman, she didn't like that question. She didn't feel comfortable talking about that. So we stopped the conversation. And the third call I received was from a commercial bank. I can't say its name here, but a salesman, again, offered me to open bank account for my company in Russia with unheard of preferable conditions like free fee-free banking, free money transfers, online concierge, business lounges at the airports, etc. Well, I don't own a company in Russia any longer, but I didn't tell the salesperson that. We had a nice conversation, and I learned that the bank has been losing business customers with an alarming rate and is now tripling bonuses to every salesperson who signs a new client. So the salespeople are out there hunting for new clients. And the reason for losing customers was given companies closing and going bankrupt at an increased rate, the rate much higher than usual, than previously. And on top of that, I received 3 personal messages from commercial banks with pre-approved personal loans. One was 6.5 million rubles, another one was 7 million, and the third was 7.2 million. That's roughly a little south of $100,000 in cash, personal loan I could spend at anything. The interest rates were also fairly similar, 29, 29.5, and 31%. The banks kept sending these messages if there's no tomorrow. Okay, I keep on receiving quite a few of those lately. Now, what do those experiences, my experiences, tell us? The macroeconomic key indicators that I've been talking about extensively in the last couple of years, signaling crisis that started catching up with real people and real businesses. They are working extra hard to sell because the customers disappear. And that gives you an idea of what's going on the ground. The sales dropped. Most are lacking funds to continue their business as usual. There's large overstocking in new construction real estate and new cars. The banks are losing customers. That all spells disaster. What we're seeing now is Russian people have started picking up the bill for Putin waging the war in Ukraine.